caught in online dating. Review. You found a Taobao customer service question. Other party was silent. You violate the law. How does this Taobao customer service? The hour hand has pointed to PM. But at this point, you still have 9 test papers and a review was not completed. He's going back to school very soon. And he sighed. Take out the phone. Click on a certain fish to search for help writing a review. Search results live up to expectations. In the only store in the same city as you, is the ghostwriting show review. Monthly sales. The store advertisement is very loud. Guaranteed originality, expert help, professional writing, free entity sales support, modifications, professional skills, meticulously confidential. Who can resist this? Looking at the hundreds of words from flashing on the phone screen, you open the chat customer box with service. Hello, our customer service is online 24 hours a day. Hello, can I write a review? Customer service can do it. What is your requirement for word count? 140,000 silence for a moment. 3-minute hand already points to 11:30. Your precious homework time is gone forever. Can it be done? Customer service, please wait a moment, time to wonder what system prompt customer service will pop up at the bottom of the screen. Is substituted Arctic Rabbit 7. Arctic Rabbit 7 is Penguin 5. I got off work early. I can do it for him. It doesn't matter although who this comes. Arctic Rabbit seems to be the first priority is to complete. Can you ghostwrite a review? 140,000 after the other party first typed a string of send a 140,000. You violated the law, but in the blink of an eye, that message was retracted. So much so that you wonder if you're wrong. What did you just withdraw? Arctic Rabbit 7. Nothing. There was a typo so in that was with you can pretend you didn't review see book related please matters. Please at me green bubble didn't to chat wait for in another system prompt customer service came Arctic from the bottom Rabbit of the 7. The reason why you are reduced to the situation of finding someone to write a review on your behalf. A school flower hanging on the confession. The content is sincere. Signed by Shen Xingqi from class 9 of the second year of high school. You never wrote a love letter. You clearly wrote an argumentative essay. Unfortunately, well known. Director Lee of the school's moral education office. What did you post on the confession wall? So the next afternoon, you were called to the moral office. Director Li Shen. Now you can start explaining. Tell me. He leaned back. Lean on the back what of the chair. What happened to that love letter on the confession wall? Look at the director's 9 times out of 10, the he love has already destroyed. After all, the first month of freshman school. You see the school grass at the studio door. My heart was pounding. I thought I liked the same so sex. I wrote him an 8000-word love letter. Widely circulated in schools. Now there's another love signature letter. Or it's hard not to doubt. But anyway, you feel like you still need to struggle a little longer. I said I really didn't write it this time. The letter writer's name is you and yourself. It's like a dog how to prove that you didn't write it. It will be true for a while. Lee knocked on the desk. Then submit a review first. By the way, who is the love letter wanting to call him over to me? You nod and bow and walk out of the office. The door. I also heard the director shouting a review behind you. Not less than 140,000 words. Not only does it become the gossip center of the huge word review, lightning flashed through the window. Then a thunder exploded. Do you remember the weather forecast? Heavy rainfall last night. Take back the mind and close the window. There is still an unfinished test paper spread out on the table. Then press to light up the phone screen again. Search for the number given to you by Arctic Rabbit 7. Just almost dropped your phone this on green the spot. Bubble familiar hand-drawn kitten avatar on empty pure white profile. Background. Nicknames with only one letter. Sue Wanning's green you bubbles. Used to be represent the school in a city speech the leading contest. Teacher I temporarily pulled a group not long after. Remember vividly. So Sue Wanning worked as an employee in a part-time store. For a moment. Sent friend verification to this verified green bubble number. The other party is concise. Please and describe your specific requirements in detail. You put that letter in his remarks as Arctic Rabbit sent the request for review. Although there are still some doubts. Also, can it be done within the stipulated 140,000 word review can only be a dead horse. The next morning, you were awakened by a short, hurried doorbell. A woman stood at the door. She was wearing a mix of blue and white overalls. Mr. Mechanical Please sign for your interest. You mumble the courier. That kind of overalls she's clearly does not belong to any courier company. And take a closer look. Her features are faceless, even close at hand. You can't even see what she looks like. How this person makes you like a flash in a play. A passerby that acts as a background that doesn't even have a stranger than that woman is yourself. Although I don't think it's any different. It's like losing some ability to think. They're usually initialed. Take the box. Thank you. Rip open the package. Inside is a stack of white paper. Each one is covered with dense black letters. In some places, the ink has not according yet dried. To your every word is scribbled and serious dog climbing. You can see it at a glance. This is indeed written by someone imitating your note. Also use bold several times. The review book is marked with 3 big calculations. 140,000 word review. It took only one night to complete. The person who wrote the the review must be either the reincarnation of the tentacle monster. But marvel. At the same time, the phone vibrated slightly. A message from Arctic Rabbit 7 Did you receive the goods? I received it. Ask it. This review I received was done by you alone. What happened to Arctic Rabbit 7? What's the problem? The review itself is fine. You flip through the stack of white paper in front of you handwritten, and the handwriting is indeed a review of puppy love. Even the words that appear at length on it. Stacked paragraphs. Gorgeous choice of words. It all looks alike. The one that Director Lee of the Moral Education Office is out of the time you finish it. 140,000. Is this still you endured? Still can't ask no offense. Is it convenient to disclose how it's your hand speed? Arctic Rabbit 7's reply was as concise as rice. You have to be a little bit more capable. Do you need anything else? No. I'll go offline. You still don't give up. You did write this review alone. Arctic Rabbit 7. You are questioning my professionalism. Not really. Just in time. No, the alarm goes off. This means that the morning self-study you paid in a hurry. Ended this conversation. Early spring, February. Everything is a charm. Shake the heart. You are riding a bicycle. Shuttle on the willow trail next to the morning breeze and catkins ruffled the hair across your face. Soon the familiar campus gate appeared in sight. Hiking number 19 at middle school. At the bottom of a few bronzing figure stands. It's Director Lee of the Moral Education Office. Director Lee who asked to write a 1 for he was smiling, a peaceful review, color, wave, and nod to everyone who walks saying hello is actually all ears. Be aware of any disciplinary violations your car in the garage walked in with his head down, mixed in the school crowd. Strive to reduce your own sense of presence. Pulled out by Director Lee. Zhen Xingqi is coming to school. It's early today. Nod yes. Director Lee is also all right. I'll go into class. He's really fine. Tapped you on the shoulder again. Go to class now. Okay. You answered. Walked towards the teaching building. Didn't go out a few steps. I came back and told him about the director's review. You were going to tell him. Review whether it can be postponed after all, for a period of time. Under normal circumstances. Finish a 140,000 word review. Early delivery will make people feel your teeth and find someone to help you pretend to be diligent. I'm racking my brain. Never let the director see the inexplicable love letter on the confession wall. You can't argue when you're brought to the office. This gratuitous punishment should end here. You don't want any more complications. Just said half interrupted by the director. What? Review? I haven't left it. I wonder if you didn't secretly slander. The director is really noble. You're in a mess here. He turned around and said maybe one day I suddenly will ask you again how the review is written. So you try to remind him. It's what you asked me to go back and write last month. Director Lee frowned even more tightly. Let write 140,000 why do I ask you to write a review when I have letter hanging on the confession wall? The voice just your eyes suddenly go blank for a moment. Something seems to be wrong. By the way, the love letter was written yesterday. That unusual Arctic Rabbit suspected to be him. Sue Watkins. Flying freely in the warm and cold early What is spring. Director Lee still babbling for about? The interruption. I'm all right. You keep busy. It is indeed time to find you apologize. Bowed to the director. Turn around and walk towards the teaching building. It has been a long time since a.m. Oriental spitting sun slowly rises. The sun shines all over the path next to it is shaded by fallen leaves and bicycle after bicycle. Leave a crisp bell ringing in the pedestrians in the morning light. It seems to be business as usual. You tighten your clothes. Hurry up. There must be something different. 5 months ago, hiking once held a speech contest. City number 19 middle school selected 32 students to are under the stage of the main hall hidden in the crowd. Set your sights on her for the first time. A girl in a gray dress with long legs. Step the eyes on stage. Picturesque. When introducing yourself, Wanning's tone is not Introduce urgent. Yourself from hiking number 19 middle school. Girl in high spirits, dazzling appearance on stage. You remember it clearly. It seems that the name for the first time it will leave a mark on your heart. During recess, you came to class 7 of the second year of high school. Looks like a nice girl. Classmate, I'm looking for Can you call him unexpected? The other party looked puzzled. Are you looking for the wrong class? You are surprised that you found the wrong one. Please confirm again. There is no such person I've been teaching here for so long. Can I still not know? It's really not clear that it's a flat tone. For you, but like a thunder on the ground. There was a buzzing in my ears. There should be no mistake. Classes 9 and 7 are separated by only countless days and nights in school. You look out through the glass window of Wanning is often seen entering and leaving one hand lazily stuck in the pocket stepping into the classroom with the sound of the morning self-study holding a tennis ball in my forehead is for the Christmas Kixie Festival. He was all alone. He walked out of the classroom with holding a stack of greeting cards. So let's just say there be no This guy still harbors a don't give up and continue to ask around. Or maybe the person you're asking just reality always likes to give people one morning. You only come to 1/7 of the second year of high school. Director Lee doesn't remember that he once wrote a love letter caused a sensation in the whole school. The confession written to Sue Wanning. And no one knew. Sue Wanning seems to be apart from you. Never appeared in anyone's Chen's life at all. But a good living person, how could it disappear completely for no reason? Blown down by the hair twice and fell to the ground. You found an excuse to take a vacation. The review sent by the courier in the morning. Pull it out of the closet. Take a closer look. I had this stack of papers in my hand when you saw it. But as your eyes fall, when you are about to touch the last line of the review, a line of small blue text appeared out of thin air. Look carefully. It is the signature left at the end of the article. From the random dog line of signatures is written neatly and without loss of force with a blue pen. August 6, 2025. You hold the white paper tightly. His gaze did not freeze on this line of words for an instant. The more I feel that something is wrong. If this review was really written by Su Wanning, why did he leave his name at the end? Nice typeface with hard writing. It has become incomparably dazzling. It also came to mind at this time. The courier who can't see his face clearly. Color work clothes 140,000 words, and the one you've been following for a long time. Who disappeared out of thin air. There are so many things that flood like a tide. Overwhelming. I can't breathe. All black letters on the next review. It starts to warp before your eyes. Until it becomes a pair that seems like I've never seen. What happened was the whole room started to shake. The ceiling light creaked and hit the floor hard. Smoke rises. Then everything fades. The world begins to crumble before consciousness was completely. You see green bubbles on the screen. Contact Arctic Rabbit 7 sent new words welcome you back to the real world. Although it is cold and unreasonable, but you have to love him and accept reality. Everything there seems to be someone talking. We've tried to medicate people, but unfortunately, little success. Maybe it's because a loved one died. Director, you said hypnotherapy. Does it really work? It has been 24 hours since the end of hypnosis. The patient is still unconscious. To consider forced in the bottomless darkness. Suddenly, a white light flashed. You open your eyes. What you see is a pure white sofa and walls. The smell of green leaf perfume fills the air. A bouquet of white roses in a vase on the cabinet. Beautiful flowers. It's got dew on it. Not landed. The clock is placed next to the vase. The time shown above is 2025. A boy rings in your ear, Shen Xingji. The hypnosis has ended. Welcome back. You turn your head. Move your eyes to the source of the sound. You recognize him as a famous psychotherapist. You can call him Dr. Chen. It took you a long time to find barely your voice. Open. Dr. Chen just interrupted you with a smile. Is about entering your everything there is dimension. Illusory. Now the hypnosis is never over. Indulge in the world so of before you wake up here, everything I've been through is you fake. In the real graduated world. Early and left hiking number no 19 love letter. 140,000 word review. He's not here anymore. The frozen memory finally melted. Under hypnosis, the forgotten past comes to you again. A few months ago, Su Wanning is a researcher specializing temporarily in psychology. Received a public academic going to other places. You dropped him off I just didn't expect it at that was time. The last time you saw him. The one he looked back at as he left. It was a farewell shortly after something returning about a home flight from the suddenly airport. Appeared on Lost the internet. Note. Many people have a heated discussion. Look at it one by everyone is well said. Every one of them looks although real. You tell don't yourself, trust these whimsical things. But I can't help but check again flight information again. For Su Wanning. It's not the original landing there time has been yet. No official notification. Holding the mobile phone and waiting nervously finally all afternoon. Sunset. Wait until the official release crash. The next moment, the phone rang suddenly. Hello, is this Miss Su's family? Suddenly my hand fell off. The phone fell to the floor. There was a muffled sound. There is also a large bouquet of white roses half in the dead vase and no longer alive. It was bought by Su Wanning. He always likes to buy some flowers. But maybe never again. Before boarding the plane, he reached out and smile and asked you how you turn your head. Want to wave goodbye. I was a child. I read Tao Yuan relatives. Others have also how to die. To Odi Tongshan. I used to read interpretation of writing. I just never noticed all kinds of emotions. Until the day you bid farewell in front of the stone tablet, offer a white rose. Finally, have some understanding of the description. Only then did I finally understand that my way raised self-deprecation. Advantage one close has not returned to Korea for a couple of years. You meet a man with beautiful eyebrows. That person was Dr. Chen. Dr. Chen's former colleague. It's me. Your test report is out. The situation is not recommendation first. You refuse. You don't have any particularly serious you even need drugs to just a farewell. But there is no such thing as a people feast. There is nothing you cannot accept as a result. Later, you are indeed starting to experience memory loss. I'm still in middle school. You will feel that Su Wanning is not far from you. You never lost till they had to be hospitalized. During treatment, a variety of treatment options, including medication. It's been too little for you. Dr. Chen's team suggests that you undergo hypnotherapy. Rose finally follow the pedals and disappear into the bottom. You just remember this is already your third hypnosis. It is also in this hypnosis. You return to hiking number 19 middle original school 10 years love ago. Letters review the tree-lined trails and those who are not far away. It's just a fantasy. When leaving the hospital, Dr. Chen will take you to the elevator turning around. Suddenly asked about this hypnosis. Can you still see him? You were stunned. Immediately blurted out as usual. He smiled again. Mr. Hypnotherapy requires the cooperation between the patient and the hypnotist.
Okay,
To tell the
you
truth.
barely pulled the corner
I can
of your
still
lip.
see him.
Dr. Chen sighed softly.
This means you still haven't
Mr.
come out.
Shen always has to look
If you don't
forward.
want to cooperate,
Then
in your
even
heart,
the best treatment is
you
useless.
nod. I understand.
But
Thank you
until I
kindly.
walked out of the hospital
Are you still
gate.
thinking,
But where is it so easy to get out?
You knew him when you were young.
together for so
a glimpse
many
from
years.
that speech contest 10 years ago.
10 years
Mission
later,
Avenue Church.
a sparkling wedding ring on the
You
ring
were
finger.
already engaged.
But now,
The
wedding has turned white sand into a white
The
cloth
person who was
before
supposed
dying.
to spend this
years
life
before
with you
were buried
you can't
underground.
forget
You
him.
don't want to
It's
forget
you who
him.
don't want to
Wandering,
come out. Unknowingly, I have passed a street
This
corner
is the
somewhere.
old town that looks rather
When
old.
urban planning and
it is
construction.
classified outside the
The
scope
city
of
is
demolition.
growing rapidly.
Between the cracks of tall buildings
Forgotten
rising
place.
from the
Reefer is
ground.
full of life.
Layers of greenery wrap around the dilapidated
Entangled
old
in
building.
twisting vines.
Look up. There was an old flower shop at the end of the
It's
street.
like a
gratuitous and deadly
You
attraction.
push the door
phone
in.
in my hand coincides
A very
with this
slight
moment.
tremor came from the palm
It's
of my
Arctic
hand.
Rabbit
Arctic
7.
Rabbit
Hello,
7.
dear customer.
Before sunset,
I can fulfill another wish
Please
for you.
tell me.
What is your wish? You stare at the message that pops up on the screen. Arctic Rabbit 7.
Isn't this something from your
How
dreams?
could it be here? Surprised, the phone vibrated
Arctic
again.
Rabbit
It
7.
doesn't matter
System
if you
monitoring.
don't say
Your
it.
wish is to see Suwanian.
Arctic Rabbit
Then
7.
as you wish,
My esteemed
when
guest,
the message is sent,
you used to wear a good
suddenly
ring.
fell to the
you
ground.
bend over hastily.
But it was
picked up first by a fair and slender
handed
hand.
back to you.
The woman in front of me is
Julie,
born with
a pair
sperm.
of
peach blossom eyes with
Smile.
slightly upturned
He's raising
ends.
his eyebrows as you take the ring
I feel
from
like
him.
my fingertips
It's
are shaking.
Suwanian.
You have no
How
idea.
should I
feel at this moment?
I haven't
even called out my
Tears
name
welled
yet.
up first.
Suwanian sighed softly.
Put your fingertips in the
Gentle
corners
tone.
of your eyes.
Why are you crying? At the
Who
same
bullied
time,
you?
automatically
A message
lights up
pops
again
up
on the main screen. Arctic
You
Rabbit
only have
7.
1 day left to
Cherish
spend with
it.
him.
Guest, you glanced down at the time.
It was the day before the
Don't
crash.
cry in the flower
the warm
shop.
yellow light
On a
cascades
handful
down.
of white
Suwanian
roses.
raised her hand and
Ask
gently
what's
pinched
going
your
on.
face.
Turn off the
Take
screen.
your eyes off that line of time
There's
display.
really only one
you
last
threw
day
yourself
left.
on
Bracelets
Suwanian.
wrapped around her thin
She
waist.
buried her face
Suwanian
in her
said in a
shoulders.
muffled
When is our
voice.
wedding date?
Suwanian was unexpected for this sudden
I
move.
was hit by you
Take
and
the
stumbled
after being
back.
able to
He patted
stabilize
you on
his
the
back.
back.
Smiled and said that on the 17th
What's the
of
matter?
next month.
Are
you
you
held
in a
him
hurry?
tighter.
Can we get married today?
How can that
He
work?
gently pushes you
Took
away.
that ring from your hand.
Slowly put it on your ring finger.
You wince your hand.
Why do you wear your
We're
ring
not
finger?
married
I
yet.
know, Mr. Shen.
The light reflects the gentle
She
eyebrows
said in a
of
low voice
Suwanian.
that weddings can't
One
be
day
too
is
casual.
too short.
late to prepare.
It's too late.
You look at the person standing in
Living
front of you
soon.
right
One
now.
Ning only felt
But
bitter
we
in
only
his
have
heart.
one
We
day
have
left.
no
No
future.
later.
Accompanying
There
time.
is only one last
You
day
lowered
left.
your
Sour
eyes.
under strong
Lift
pressure.
your head
a little
again.
reluctantly smiled at Suwanian.
You are leaving for a foreign
Don't
country
go.
tomorrow.
Let's go out
He
again
smiled.
today. Okay.
Where to go?
Let's
Have you
go
thought
to
about
Mount
it?
Luoxia.
is a famous tourist
Yun
attraction.
Zhengxi
The
Way.
mountains soar into the clouds until
And the
sunset.
light falls all over
Luoxia
the mountain.
also
Around
got
dusk,
its name from
Suwanian
this.
took you to drive up
It's
the
not
mountain.
too early.
A red sun hangs on the mountain.
It seems to be falling
and
soon.
the moon is about to rise.
Facing the evening wind on the top of
Suwanian
the
holds
mountain,
you in
he
his
smiled
arms.
and asked if he had read
Did
the
you
Blue
shake
Snow
your
Collection.
head?
He also said that the poem has
It's
3
about
chapters.
acacia.
The mountain is high and
The
the
river
moon
of
is
the
small.
moon.
I have a thought in the
Not
distance.
seen for
My
a
heart
day.
bitter
Is
and
quiet.
bitter in the south of the
Melancholy.
mountain. How can it be?
I have a thought in the
Not
distance.
seen for
My
a
heart
day.
glow.
Is quiet. You are suddenly terrified that
You
the
know
sun
this
will
day
go
will
down.
come to an
But
end.
suddenly there was an unsolvable
You can't
urge.
accept
Suwanian disappearing from
So
your
you
eyes
turned
again.
around.
Hold her back.
Ask not to go
Is
tomorrow.
that okay?
Why?
Suwanian is looking at you.
It means
you know.
a lot to me.
Maybe another day.
You can't get on that plane
Otherwise
anyway.
you will die.
Really?
He just
Drop
let
your
go.
eyes.
Eyelashes as fine
Cast
as
a
rain.
shadow in the eye.
He whispered.
Hoarse voice.
The eyes are also a little
Yes.
red. I know, Shen Xingqi.
Don't you understand by now?
Death cannot be changed.
Go back in time at this
It's
stage.
something that's simply
Everything
impossible.
you see now is fake.
And that includes
Everything
me.
here is just an
It's
illusion.
going to sunset
Go back.
soon.
You have a long
And I
life
love you.
ahead
The
of
moment
you.
the words
Same
fall,
as last
suddenly the
time.
whole world starts to
Everything
crumble, and
you
once
disappear.
again, it all disappears
Hard to
between
find.
heaven
When I
and
open
earth.
my eyes
the
again,
target is Dr. Chen's worried face.
See you open
he
your
seemed
eyes.
relieved that you were
Just
awake.
wake up.
It turned out that it was only the 4th
You
hypnosis
smiled
just
and
now.
said thank
After
you.
coming out of
You
the
took
hospital,
a taxi. You used to go with Suwanning on the corner. A bunch of white roses when there. Leaving, a small civet cat owned by the owner of the flower shop by step. It used to like to pester Suwanning like this. You put the rose aside, down and touch its hairy head. And say, "What are you doing with me? It won't come again. We will never see it again." End of December. Your funeral for Suwanning was held as scheduled. Withered green. Many of the guests came looking sad. I advise you not to be sad. Respond with a smile. When you turn around and go back to the main hall from under the smile. Ask in your heart if you will like it. Time has passed. No response. Snow is flying outside. You may be in the future for a long time. We'll still remember this day. Winter Moon 2025. Farewell to this life.